Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name is Katie and today we're going to be doing my slightly belated October TBR. So I think I'm going to put this up like the evening when I'm doing some filming in the day. So hopefully you'll be seeing this today so it's not too late in October. But yeah, this is the first time I've been filming since I started my new job back in August. So yeah, I haven't done any filming for a while, but getting back into it. And I just had a week off, which has been very nice. But I am really enjoying my new job. It's so when you're junior doctor you rotate around every 4 months, so my first 4-month job is paediatrics, which I absolutely love, and probably want to do paediatrics for the rest of my life. So yeah, it's going to be hard to leave in December, but I'm really loving it so far, so that's good. And I've been having I would say a reasonable amount of time for reading. I would say I used to read probably like 15-ish books a month, but now I'm reading maybe like 10 books a month, which is still good. I think in the evenings I haven't had much energy, but like at the weekends and stuff I still have time. And audiobooks like on my walk into work, so that's good as well. But also in the evenings I've been reading a lot of like smutty romance, so yeah, what can you say? But yeah, so today I'm just going to be talking about some books I want to get to in October. So the first one I actually already started, but this is The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik. So the book is actually downstairs, so this is just the dust jacket. It's very shiny. This just came in the post the other day because I had it pre-ordered. And this is the final book in the Scholomance trilogy, which the first one is A Deadly Education and the second one is The Last Graduate. And I really love this trilogy. I feel like it's a bit Marmitey, like you either love it or you hate it, but personally I loved it, especially like the love interest Orion. He's so cute, he's such a himbo, but yeah, I love him. And yeah, I'm about probably a third of the way into this and I'm enjoying it so far. It's kind of different from the other books because the other two books are mainly set in like the school setting, whereas this one isn't really. So yeah, it's interesting. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. And I always love like finishing a trilogy. You have such a sense of like completion. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing this one off. And then also some audiobooks I want to try and get to. So what I usually do is I have the like 24 credit yearly subscription for Audible because that's the best value, and I read quite a lot of audiobooks. But when it gets to the end of a year and there's books I've used on my credits, but there's books I haven't listened to, so I cancel my subscription and I leave it for a few months before I get it again, so it gives me a chance to catch up on audiobooks. So the first one so I'm about halfway through Lachlan's, which is the final book in the Foundry Side trilogy, which I'm really enjoying. I've reread the whole trilogy, so I reread Foundry Side and Shorefall, and then now I'm reading Lachlan's, and I'm actually really enjoying Lachlan so far. I think just the main relationship, Santry and Berenice, I just love them, and like they're all like married in this book. Oh, it's so cute. But that's not really the main plot at all, but still. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to finishing that series as well. Oh, so many series finishes, just that I need that sense of completion. And then also I want to maybe try and start re-reading / re-listening to the Red Rising series. I was gonna say trilogy, but it's a series. So yeah, I have all the audiobooks now because when I originally listened to them, I think I listened to them through Scribd, but I used some of my credits to buy the series. Although I already had Golden Sun, I don't know why, but I got the rest of them because I know I love the series. So yeah, this is a series that I feel like I read pre-booktube, and I was really I was obsessed with it at the time. It's probably one of my first like big fandom loves, I guess. Not really fandom, but like, you know, first book loves. And yeah, some of the characters I just love so much. If you know me, you can probably guess which ones I love. Like especially Victra, oh, love her. And Cassius, I'm a bit of a Cassius simp. And yeah, there's loads of characters that I love in that series. Dara, I feel like take or leave, but like all the rest, Mustang, she's great. Severo, love him. Yeah, and like quite a few of my favourite narrators narrate in that series, so that's exciting as well. Although I think it's Dark Age where one of the narrators, for like a young, probably about 16 or 18-year-old, sounds like an 8-year-old chain smoker, which is so funny. But anyway, that's a tangent. So yeah, and I also want to try and reread the Keeper of the Lost City series, which I've already reread the first one, so I want to just make my way through that one slowly. So the next one is Exile, And yeah, I want to reread this series because there's a new book coming out, I think in November time, and I thought it was going to be the last book in the series, but it's not. There's another book in the series now, which is like a 10-book series or something, which is crazy. But also I feel like it's not that crazy for a middle grade series. Like sometimes they have a crazy amount of books in them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to rereading that series because it's one of my favourite middle grade series. I feel like I haven't really talked about what any of these books are about. But Keeper of the Lost Cities follows Sophie, who is grown up in the human world, but at the start of the series she finds out she's an elf and she has to go to these like lost cities, where, or are they lost cities or forbidden cities? I think the forbidden cities are the human, no, I don't know. Anyway, she goes to this like elven world and she like goes to elf school and gets a new family, and it's all very wholesome and sweet, and she discovers she's at the heart of this like conspiracy, which is very interesting. So yeah, it's a typical like middle grade storyline, but it's really good. I love all the friendships, especially as the series progresses, and like the focus on the friendships and like Sophie's growth throughout the series and how she progresses into this little leader, and like she's always so kind and caring, and yeah, I love it. And it's also some interesting stuff throughout the series about how the elven world is very much like a kind of utopia type thing, but Sophie, because she's grown up in the human world, she can kind of see the flaws in it and she like challenges those, which I think is really good, especially for middle grade. So yeah, I enjoyed that one and I'm looking forward to rereading. Probably this month maybe just aim for like maybe Exile, maybe Everblaze, which is the 3rd book. Everblaze is one of my favourites in the series, I think. So yeah, that's some audiobooks I want to get to. Okay, and then a couple of arcs I have, even though I always tell myself I'm not going to request any more arcs, and then more arcs come along that I'm interested in and I request them. It's so bad, but I just can't resist because it's basically free books, and then if I like them I can buy a physical copy and support the author. But like if I don't like it that much, then I'm saving money and it's like a free book basically. Although you do have to review it, but that's fine, like that's worth it to me. And so yeah, so Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn, which is the sequel to Legend Born. I mean, I'm definitely going to be buying a finished copy of this, but I just wanted to read it early because it's one of my favourite YA fantasy series. I loved Legend Born when I read it last year or the year before. I can't remember when it first came out basically. Yeah, it's such a great series. It's very like it's like it has the kind of feelings of like classic YA fantasy, but also it's very modern and like progressive and stuff, which I also really like. So it's like the best of both worlds, and yeah, it just has so much like heart to it, and I love the main character Bree, she's amazing, and I also love the like 2 love interests, Stella and Nick, and hopefully it's going to be like a polyamorous situation, but I don't know if that would happen. But that's what I'm hoping for anyway. And in the first book I think Bree like discovers this sort of secret society of like the descendants of Arthurian legends. So there's like the Scion of Arthur and the Scion of Lancelot and all the rest of the knights. I can't remember their names. And then there's like these mages called Merlins or something, and they are like magicians. It just has a great feeling to it, like slightly cheesy but also really good. I don't know, they're my favourite kind of YA books. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that one and seeing where the sequel goes, and crossing my fingers for polyamory. And then we also have Bitter Thorn by Kat Dunn, which I don't know much about this one, and I don't think it's out till 2023, but I just saw it on social media and then I saw it on NetGalley and I was like, I have to request this because I couldn't tell you anything about the synopsis other than I think it's like an atmospheric, like slightly spooky type vibes, and hopefully it's sapphic. I feel like Kat Dunn's other series, which I really enjoyed, which was called Dangerous Remedy, is the first book, and that's like a sort of revolutionary France, and there's this gang of like misfits, and they're like sort of double agents for like both sides of the revolution, and they kidnap a girl, and well, they don't kidnap her, but they rescue her like from being used and with electrical powers, and it's very interesting. I really like that series, so I'm looking forward to the next book. That was a very long-winded explanation. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one, even if I don't really know much of what it's about. But I don't feel like you always need to know what a book's about, you just need to know the vibes. Although having said that, actually I do feel like now I don't like it when books are like only marketed by like their tropes or by like certain things that they contain. I like books to have a synopsis. Even if I'm not going to pay attention to it, I still want a synopsis. Like, because I feel like there's no point in having tropes if you don't have the story to back them up, type thing. Like, I love tropes in books and I love discovering the tropes in books, but I don't feel like a book can't be tropes alone. That's my kind of, they still need a story to them. So yeah, that's my take on that one. Also, final arc is Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong, which I've had this arc for quite a while and I am excited for it, but the problem is that for some reason the arc didn't like give you a Mobi version, which is what you can read on your Kindle, so I haven't been able to read it on my Kindle. So the only way I can read it is on the NetGalley like shelf app on my phone, and like the font is really small and it's really annoying to like scroll through, and I don't like reading from like a bright screen because like my Kindle just looks like a page type thing, so I don't really like reading from my phone, so I've kind of been putting off reading that one. But I believe it follows Rosalind, because I did start it, so I've read a couple of chapters. Rosalind, who is a character in the These Violent Delights, but it's like her spin-off, and I was slightly, for some reason I had in my head it was a Kathleen spin-off, who I love Kathleen, and I was excited, but then I realised it was Rosalind, and I think it'll still be interesting. Like, I'm looking forward to reading her story, but not quite as excited anymore. I think it's something like spy drama in the 1930s. That's the vibe I'm getting. I don't know if it's another Shakespeare retelling or not. I guess I will see when I finish the book, but I'm not sure. I will know. I don't know how good my knowledge of Shakespeare is. Like, I feel like I could recognise like a knockoff Macbeth plot, a knockoff Othello plot, a knockoff Hamlet plot, a knockoff Romeo and Juliet plot, a knockoff Midsummer Night's Dream plot, and a knockoff Twelfth Night plot. But I'm not sure I would know any of the others. What other Shakespeare? Yeah. The Tempest. Is The Tempest an actual book, or is that just a scene in Midsummer Night's Dream? No, I think it's its own story, but I couldn't tell you what story it was. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not really, despite my love of reading, I'm not very clued in on like literature. Yes, I'm much more of a sciencey person, but in real life. But in book world, I love books. But like, I feel like I read books mainly for entertainment rather than like literary merit. I've said that many times, but yeah. Okay. And then I also want to read, so the remaining Robin Hobb books I haven't read yet. So they are here in this corner. So, oh, Panini, it's perfect. It's her time. It's October. Okay, so there are The Inheritance, which is a collection of short stories from the world of Realm of the Eldlings, and then also The Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince, which is a kind of a short story, like, I don't know if it's like almost like a folklore tale in the world of Realm of the Eldlings, about like a princess a few hundred years before like Fitz and his story, and they're quite renowned. There's a word that's like renowned but notoriously renowned. That kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to reading both of those. I feel like I need the emotional strength to read a Robin Hobb book, which I don't know if I've had yet. But yeah, I think it will be okay. I don't think those two will be as devastating as like reading Assassin's Fate type thing, because you're not as like attached to the characters. But yeah, we'll see. So The Hollow Places, which is I think just creepy, spooky, perfect October vibes. So I think this will be really good. I'll read you the synopsis. So Kara finds the words in a mysterious bunker that she discovered behind a hole in the wall of her uncle's house. Freshly divorced and living back at home, Kara now becomes obsessed with these cryptic words and starts exploring this peculiar area, only to discover that it holds portals to countless alternate realities. Ooh, I feel like I haven't read a portal fantasy in a long time, but it could be good. But these places are haunted by creatures that seem to hear thoughts. The more one fears them, the stronger they become. With her distinctive, delightfully fresh and subversive praise, and the strange, sinister world found in Guillermo del Toro Pan Labyrinth, The Hollow Places is a compelling and white-knuckled horror novel that you won't be able to put down. So this sounds good, sounds creepy, so perfect October vibes. It's definitely time for my annual rewatch of Bly Manor. And also T. Kingfisher has another book coming out in October, which I don't have yet because I don't think it's out yet, but I have it pre-ordered. and that is What Moves the Dead, and the cover for this is absolutely stunning, and I believe this is a Fall of the House of Usher, or just House of Usher, retelling by Edgar Allan Poe. Tammy's read it and she said I would really like it, and it features like lots of creepy mushrooms, which is good. I've heard it's very similar to Mexican Gothic, so much so that the author had to put a disclaimer that it was like written before that came out. But I mean, I don't really care, like I love Mexican Gothic, so another story that's similar I would love as well, so I'm very much looking forward to that one. Also, yeah, so that's my October TBR. This video got very long for a TBR. Let me know in the comments any books you're planning on reading on October. I would love to know. Also, hopefully in the next couple of weeks I will have some autumnal book recommendations and spooky book recommendations videos coming out, so you can look forward to those. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I hope everyone is having a really great day, and I'll see you next time.